Hi everybody, happy Wednesday and welcome back to our third lesson on fractions. Now, one thing that I just wanted to start off today by saying is please don't panic if this is something that your child is finding hard, or children at home, if you're watching, if you're finding this difficult. Usually at school we would spend over 2 weeks on fractions, and with learning the mastery lessons, we really go into so much depth with them. So we would have spent a couple of days on equal and unequal, 3 lessons on halves, the same on quarters. But we just don't feel that that is very practical at home. Obviously, you'd have to go into so much depth, and we know that that requires a lot of time and a lot of pressure on parents at home. So we are just trying to expose you to all of the different concepts and areas. And if you do feel that this is getting too tricky and you would like to spend more time on halves, then just please do that. And please don't feel like you have to rush through the week of fraction lessons, because we will be coming back to this at school and doing it as part of early morning work, and there'll be additional interventions and things like that. So it's just to say at this point, please don't panic, because I know that I am whizzing through the various concepts in each lesson and we're moving very quickly forward, so just not to panic. Right, share my screen. And we're going to start off with some number formation. We've got a different number today. Let's see if I can do this one a little bit more neatly than I did the other day. Oh, there we go. Right. Around the tree and around the tree. That's the way we make a 3. Let's have a practice. Around the tree and around the tree. That's the way we make a 3. Right, you guys have a go at home, and I will come back to you in a little while. Brilliant stuff. I hope you had lots of fun practicing the number 3 today, and let's move on with today's lesson. Now I'm going to move my camera up here. That's better, so then I can see, and we can all see. Right, 4 friends are sharing a cake. Oh, I wish I was sharing a cake. The cake is split into equal parts. Each part is worth Now, what is the cake split into? It's split into how many parts? 4 equal parts. Should we see if we were right? We were. Brilliant. And each part is worth, I wonder if anybody knows. So I'm going to write it. So we've got, out of 4 equal parts, and if I ate 1 part, I really wish I was eating 1 part of a cake right now. I could do with that on this wet, horrible afternoon that I'm recording all these lessons on. Okay, if I had 1 part, does anybody know what we call this fraction? It is called 1 quarter. Fantastic, 1 quarter. There are 4 equal parts, and I have eaten 1 quarter. Okay, let's move on. So we are going to be focusing on quarters today. And again, now this one's a bit harder for me to hold up because I've got more parts this time. We're going to think about our bar model continually throughout fractions. So I've got my cuboid again for my whole number. I wonder if anybody can tell me what the whole number is here. It's all the strawberries that are all together. So if we draw our whole number on here, you can put this at the top. You can put it at the bottom. It really doesn't matter. I've got a total of, we know how to count in 2s. Let's count 2, 4, 6, 8. And I have got 4 parts. Should have done this a little bit bigger, Miss Di, but there you go. It doesn't matter if they don't look all the same. It's just that visual representation. And how many are in each part? There are 2 strawberries in each part. And we know this from doing our multiples of 2 the other week. So if I've got my big one here, each of these red sections represents 2 strawberries. And I've done this one where I've got my whole number underneath, but I hope you forgive me because this means that I can hold this a little bit easier. Otherwise I've got to turn it upside down and try and hold all the parts. So we've got our whole number here and our quarters here. I've got 1 quarter, 2 quarters, 3/4 and 4/4. The strawberries are split into 4 equal parts. Each part is worth 1/4. Each part is worth 1/4, and there are 2 in 1/4. Brilliant. Okay, the square is split into equal parts. Each part is worth Pause the video now until you're grown up. Good stuff. It's split into 4 equal parts, and each part, if I have one part, should draw the line this. I always do this in my class to tell me off. It's out of 4, and each part is worth 1/4. We should always draw this line and write our parts first, the total amount of parts. That really helps us not to get confused. Miss Di is a bit of a naughty teacher sometimes, because sometimes she starts at the top, and actually to explain this, it's much easier if we always draw this line to say it's out of 4, and I've shaded 1 part out of 4. 1/4, we call that. Okay, some thinking time for you now. Is the rectangle split into quarters? Now, when we think about quarters or halves, what do they have to be? It begins with E. Pause the video now and have this discussion. Excellent, they have to be equal, don't they? And here, we haven't got equal parts. We've got a very small part here, probably an even smaller part here, and these two are slightly bigger. So they're not the same. So it has not been split into quarters because it's unequal. And here, when we go back to this again, all of these red parts, let's just hold them up separately, they all are the same. They're all quarters because they're all, if I line them up, it's very difficult to do this holding this. Come on, Miss Di, you can do this. Ha. Okay, they're all exactly the same amount. Those are quarters, they're all equal. Let's move that aside for the minute. I hope you guys all came up with the same answers that I did at home. You guys came up with the same answers at home as I've just done. Okay, right. Shade 1/4 of each shape. So this is the task that I want you to do today. So again, this will be on your timetables, and you'll be able to print this off, and you need to shade 1/4 of each shape at the top. And then at the bottom, it says circle the shapes that have a quarter shaded. So you can circle the ones that you think have a quarter shaded. Not all of them have, so be very careful. Which shapes do not have a quarter shaded? How do you know? So you can write a sentence underneath about that one. And there's an extension here, there's a challenge here if you really want to challenge yourself. And again, that will be on your timetables. So brilliant stuff. Third lesson on fractions. We are flying through. Please don't panic. Let's stop the share. Please don't panic if you need to go back. You need to really look at amounts of, you need to focus on halves again. You need to focus on equal and unequal. That's absolutely fine. Please just stick to the point where you feel most comfortable and move on when you're ready, because that is good maths teaching and that is excellent maths lessons. We don't race on and try and do loads of things that we don't feel comfortable or confident with yet. And I will see you again tomorrow for some more fractions. Bye, and bye from Mr. Panda as well.